Brother lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Mikel ARTETA has been speaking to the media once again after another game. And he's spoken about transfers once again. And he said this time it is a call for Edu. This time it is going to be a question for Edu and the board to respond because it is really, really short. He's really short of numbers. He's really short of quality on the bench. And maybe, just maybe, if he had better players, he would have gotten that that game over the line. Now, there are two questions I want us to react to in the comment section on this video. Number one, if we had MUDRYK, does it change that game? Do we win that game? If we had actually brought MUDRYK from the bench, maybe, just maybe from in the 60th minute or in the 70th minute, do you think he would have changed that game? Do you think he would have actually won the game for us? Let me know in the comment section. Let's have the conversation. And number two, was it the referee? If we had a better officiation, if we had a better referee, if we had a normal referee in that game, one that was not giving away stupid yellow cards for both sides, one that was not denying penalties that were clear cut, would we win that game? So let me know in the comment section. Is it totally Mikel ARTETA's fault? Is it totally Arsenal's fault that we didn't win the game? Or it's the referees as well? Or maybe if he does better, Arsenal walk away with the right result that we actually deserved on the evening. Hit the like button for me. Let's get this video to 500 likes. Subscribe to the podcast as well. We're very, very close to 63,000 subscribers. So let's dive into Mikel ARTETA's press conference and see how he was reacting to the performance from the boys. Number one, he was asked about the frustration at full time, and he said, "I'm really proud with the boys. They played very, very well. The way we dominated the game, the way and the approach that we had right from the beginning. We lacked the spark in the final third to find the opening, to find the right momentum, an extra pass, and a little bit of finishing quality. But we had a lot of situations in and around the box to do better. And there were two really scandalous penalties that were actually not given." So that's Mikel ARTETA speaking there about full time and how we saw the game. He said we really, really played well, and I cannot disagree, to be honest. I think Arsenal really played in a way that no one expected us to do against Newcastle. One of the best sides in the Premier League, one of the sides that have been averaging at least 10 shots per 90 in every game, one of the sides that have been scoring almost in every game they play. They last lost a game against Liverpool in August 2-1, a Fabio Carvalho late winner in the 90 plus 9 minutes. So you can see the quality, you can see how organized, you can see how great they are. And maybe one thing we'll have to talk about Newcastle is that, yes, they didn't have so many of their players. Alisson Maxima maybe not in that team, forcing Joelinton to play out of position. They didn't have Jonjo Shelvey, forcing Bruno Guimaraes to fall a little bit deeper and all that. But to be honest, we dominated that game. We really, really played well. I could see some silky passes. I could see some silky football. Yes, it was at a little tempo. It was at a very, very slow tempo. And I say that if you're going to beat Newcastle, if you're going to beat these big sides, you need to step up the speed of your game a little bit. I didn't see that from Martinelli. I didn't see that from Saka. And we desperately needed their speed in this game. But overall, yes, there were chances. I thought Eddie Nketiah should have scored in that game. I thought Martin Odegaard should have scored in that game. I thought Xhaka should have scored two in that game. And when it comes to taking our chances, when it comes to making things happen in and around the penalty area, that is what Mikel ARTETA is talking about there. You've got to make things happen. It must be a must. Whenever you get chances, whenever you get 2-3 chances, you must make sure that one of them is in the back of the net. But then let's talk about the penalties from Mikel ARTETA there, because he has also spoken about it. Those two penalties, how have Arsenal not gotten one of them? How have we not been awarded one of them? Gabriel Magalhaes there being pulled down to the deck by Dan Burn. That is a clear-cut penalty. The ball is alive. The ball is live, because if the ball is not live, maybe that is where you'd say it's not a penalty because the ball is not live. But the ball is live. He's actually pulled him clearly to the ground. And I'm asking myself, why has that not been looked at? Why is the referee not going to the screen? Why is that not a penalty? And then the dying moments of the game, Granit Xhaka there, he's going to score. He's actually going to put it across, goal, and someone is going to tap it in because the pressure is mounting for Newcastle. And somehow that is also not given. Look, we've also walked away with a few decisions this campaign as Arsenal. I don't want to be the only negative fan. I'm going to focus on the positives, but I'm going to say this. That officiation, I agree with Mikel. It was the worst in 2023 so far. I hope we don't see many of those. Mikel Arteta next on the last penalty shout out in particular, he said both of them, it's not the particular one, it's both of them. It's a penalty and it's a penalty or not a penalty, and he says it's both penalties. So that's Mikel Arteta. He says on both penalty shout outs, it's a penalty. Right? He's a manager. He knows the rules. If it's not a penalty, there is no reason for him to shout. Okay? Penalties have been awarded against Arsenal, and I've never seen him come out say it is too soft. I've never seen him come out to say it's not a penalty. So when he says it is a penalty, it's a penalty. And he says it's both of them. It's not just the last one. It is the both of them. Because the first one, the player's pulled to the ground in the penalty area. And the second one, the player actually changes the trajectory of the ball with his own hands that are out of position, that are out of his out of the natural position. They're both penalties, but somehow they are not awarded, and we have to actually work with that. On making one substitution, because said, listen, we were on top of them, we were chasing the goal, we were in a good moment, and I didn't want to make more changes. Okay, I do understand when he says that, because I didn't really understand why Fabio Vieira didn't actually come in that game. But Mikel says we were on top of them, we were in a good moment, and he didn't want to make many changes to distract the rhythm. Yeah, maybe that makes a lot of sense, by the way. Now that he speaks about it, now that he confirms it, it actually makes a lot of sense. It actually really, really does. So, but I thought in the end, maybe in the last 10 minutes, Fabio Vieira should have come on. Maybe the last 6 minutes, Fabio Vieira should have come on, because we know his influence. We know what he can do in and around the penalty area. We know he's a small young boy that really loves to shoot right from afar. But anyway, Mikel says just didn't want to disrupt the rhythm of the game, which is actually something that is very, very valid. I mean, I don't find it I don't find it as a lie or as an excuse. On this game being a match Arsenal would have lost 2 seasons ago. It says, I don't know that. We wanted to win it, and we still have that in the guts that we did more than enough, and we merit a different result, but we didn't get it. When you can't win, at least you draw. Okay, that's a positive mentality from Mikel Arteta. Arsenal would have lost this game 2 seasons ago, maybe. Yeah, I think the rebuild has been really, really great. It has taken a very, very short period of time. Mikel says, if you don't win, draw. And we merited a different result in this game. For me, it's not even about the penalties. It's about the chances we missed. If we do better with those chances, Arsenal walk away with a better result. But anyway, no problems. We can actually walk on to the next result, next game, and get a better result. On feeling like 2 points were lost today, it says it's not that. It's about the feeling. I think the team was on top of it. We were really, really chasing it. We really wanted it. You could see that the team was putting everything into the 3 points. We lacked that in the final third, and we lacked the big decisions in the game today. That really happens all the time, by the way. It's not on Arsenal. I don't want Arsenal fans to feel Cossy, we are the only team that cannot find a way out in the 90th minute. Manchester City have drawn against Everton. Manchester City have drawn against this Newcastle side. Manchester City have dropped points this season against Liverpool. So it happens against any top side. It happens to every top side. You're going to drop points. You're going to have moments where you are not good. You're going to have 10 games in a row winning, and then you're going to have like 3 games where you're struggling. But all you have to do is keep the momentum and just keep on, going. Mikel on the referee having control over the game. He said he has the whistle, so he has the control. I'm not here to talk about referees, but for us guys, we can't talk about the referee. He was pathetic. He was absolutely pathetic. And when he goes back and he looks at the performance, he's going to be ashamed. Totally ashamed of himself. That is a shambles. That was an absolute shambles of officiation, and I think he kind of ruined this game in the first half. Maybe in the second half, he was trying so much not to give away any big goals. He was trying so much not to give away any red cards, because he knows that the yellow cards he has awarded in the first half are unnecessary, both to Newcastle and to Arsenal. They were unnecessary. Yeah, maybe the Martin Odegaard one, I could reflect on that, but most of them, they are actually unnecessary, and that actually affects the way he officiates the game in the second half. He's trying to be a hero. He's trying to be divine. He's trying to be clean in the second half. He doesn't want to put any kind of dirty nails into the food. And that is why he actually ends up spoiling everything. But anyway, referee trash on the evening. Very, very much, very much like trash on the evening. Mikel on if one team only wanted to win. He says, I don't know. I don't talk about. I talk about my team only. My team wanted to win 100%. Newcastle put nothing in that game. They put nothing in that game. I've seen pathetic performances from clubs this campaign when we played against them, but they put nothing in the game. I think they were a little bit, okay with the result right from the start. They felt like we go to the Emirates Stadium, pick up a point, stay in and around the top 4. We are all right. I think it's very, very clever from Eddie Howe, because the amount of respect he injected in this game awarded him a point. He was a coward. And what I know is cowards live longer. I mean, that's all I know. Cowards live longer. They never put their bodies on the line. They never put their necks on the line. They always live longer with all their body parts still intact. But when you think about the Newcastle we know, they absolutely offered nothing. I'm sorry. They offered nothing in this game, and they ought to do better. If I'm a Newcastle fan and I thought we are one of the teams that would beat Arsenal at the Emirates Stadium, yes, they have stopped our 100% record at home, but it is still unbeaten at the Emirates Stadium. It's still unbeaten, and that was pathetic. And I think Newcastle now, everyone should look at Newcastle as a beatable side. Everyone should look at Newcastle as a side that cannot easily humiliate you, because they're scared little prats. Mikel Arteta next quote on Mikel Arteta. He was asked on if the tension on the touchline and the stands helps the team, and he said it's a football match, it's competitive. The way we play, the way they play, we are close in the table, and stories like this is the beauty of this league. On if the team were calm enough, he says, I think the team was really, really composed, and that actually really helped them in the game. Actually, there was a moment where I thought we were going to get a red card. When Eddie picked up a yellow, Odegaard picked up a yellow, Xhaka picked up a yellow, I said, okay, there's going to be a red card in this game. But in the second half, there was a lot of composure. I mean, apart from Eddie, who I thought was trying to put himself in trouble, and maybe Odegaard also pulled someone back a little bit in the second half, I didn't see any scares of a potential red card. I actually didn't see any scares of a potential red card. So the composure was there. We really did very well. There was a little bit of heated debates on the touchline between Eddie Howe and Mikel Arteta. Both of them were actually not very, very happy. But in the end, a point for everyone. Yeah, a point for everyone. Mikel Arteta on the transfer window, and whether this game actually triggers what we do next in the window. He says, I do not know. It's a question for Edu and the board now to respond. We're trying to improve the squad in every window. This is not different. We will do our best because we cannot waste any window with the squad numbers that we have. So we shall try. And that is where the real call actually comes in. That is where the real essence of this video is. He's now going to go and get Mikhail MUDRYK done. If this was gonna take a week, it's going to take hours now. He has now seen what his team needs. He needs a player to come off the bench and change the midfield. That is Fabio Vieira. He needs a player to come on and change on an impact on the forward line. That is Mikhail MUDRYK. That is Joao Felix. I won't be very surprised if he gets both of them done, because you could see the fury in his eyes. You could see that he was uncomfortable. You could see that he wanted that game badly. You could see if he had a player And I could tell by his face, if he had a player he could bring on to change that game, he was definitely gonna do that. But I think this is where now we have got to respond. I knew we were never gonna beat Newcastle. I predicted a draw, and many people in my inbox says, "Oh, Cossy, how can you predict a draw? How can you predict a draw?" It was gonna be a draw. Yeah, it was gonna be a draw. I didn't see Newcastle win it. I didn't see Arsenal win it. But now MUDRYK becomes a key signing, right? If we're gonna change games, on if Mikel sees Newcastle as title contenders, he says, "I don't know. I think there is still a lot to play, and we shall see." And also failing to score for the first time in the league, Mikel says, "We wanted to win. We tried to get the points and could not. But I think we should be proud of ourselves." And lastly, on what he's proud of so far this season, he says it's the way we play, the personality, the cohesion, the determination, the clarity on the way we want to play, and they have been great. But I'm especially proud of any way we play against any opponent. Okay, so. That is Mikel Arteta and his press conference. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Yes, he was furious. Yes, he was angry. Yes, he was desperate. Yes, he was disappointed. Yes, we will do better next time. I'll see you soon.